Hey, welcome to Eldores Chess, and today I have a really insane mad game. It is played by Lasker versus G.Thomas in London 1912. And when you hear that date, 1912, more than 100 years ago, and I'm showing it to you right now, you know something is really crazy about this game because it's also in my series Insane Mad Games. But this game, you probably have saw chunks of it in other parts because this game is really famous and the end of the game is really famous. You probably, if you're into chess, you probably seen it somewhere vaguely. But this today I'm going to give you the entire game. So I encountered this game while studying the Dutch opening repertoire in the book Learn the Dutch. I don't know the author, but I will maybe put it in the description. Maybe, maybe not. And it is a very cool game. But it's not. It's cool, but it's not that. You're not gonna learn that much of the game because it really ends pretty soon, but actually not. But you will see what you will understand once I play it. So we start off with d4, and black plays the aggressive, the strong, the fighting for a win, or getting checkmated in 12 moves. The Dutch defense, and some people like it, some people not, because I like to play the bird with white, but I'm not that. I don't like to play it with black sometimes, because sometimes you just lose very early in the middle game because of your open king, and you have to be very strong tactically. We go for a Staunton Gambit. A lot of Dutch players are afraid of this gambit. But in the early days they played it all the time. But now they probably go for something else. They go for more quiet lines. They start with the French and then they transpose into the classical Dutch. Here, knight push pressure on the pawn. We defend it. Now we put pressure on. The knight to take this pawn. Black response maybe could have developed. This is quite unambitious, but it's quite it develops, but it's nothing that spectacular. You're not really fighting for the center, and when you're playing Dutch you want to be courageous, you want to fight. So this is kind of playing the Dutch and playing the Staunton Gambit and then kind of giving up. So black plays white takes the knight. We're just gonna develop normal looking moves. And here white, what you're going to notice about this game, black loves his bishops and white doesn't give, I'm not going to curse because we want to be family friendly, white doesn't give a flying banana about his bishops because he's just going to exchange it. And in this day and age, grandmasters, they love the bishop pair, but here the white just exchanges. And white is just normally developing. Here we play bishop do d3, but I've read somewhere in the book that a lot of people, when they analyze this game, they preferred this kind of setup because it's more flexible. Going for a queenside castle, and then just going for this beautiful the idea here is to go for this beautiful e5 square. So in this position a lot of people said it was better to play queen d2 because you can castle queen side, and you're gonna go after long in every variation, almost every variation, your knight is gonna be a monster on e5. But white chose to play bishop d3, something I would play personally, and he puts his knight on e5. The white is very, you can see white is very courageous because any moment black can take the knight, But black really doesn't care. In this game, he doesn't care. There's a knight on e5, a monster knight. He's just gonna normally develop. But this is something, whenever Magnus Carlsen always, I think he said in Banner Blitz, when you fianchetto your bishop, it takes a lot of time because you have to push the pawn and then place the bishop. So it's nice to have a fianchetto bishops, but it takes a lot of time. And in the meantime, in certain position, white can overdevelop you very fast, because in this position, if black doesn't take the knight, he's gonna be in trouble, in my opinion. Black and white takes advantage of the fact that black is really setting up for a long game, but white really has this aggressive stance. And here, black makes one mistake that loses the game. Something I would play, because I don't see the danger in this kind of position when I was younger, but now, because I analyze a lot of position, we see this bishop and you have two knights, and the black king is really unsafe because there's no flea square. So when this knight moves, we already have like a checkmate, and when you it looks scary already. And in this position, black plays queen e7, and now starts one of the most famous parts of the game. But before that, look for the move for white. Pause the video and look the winning sequence for white. And I know some people don't like to pause the video, but in this kind of position, just pause the video and search for a tactic or a checkmate. Okay, just pause the video. Trust me. In this position, white plays the best move, the move that wins, the move that makes this game maybe an immortal game. The move while I analyze it. And here you can stop analyzing because it's already won for white. We can already stop analyzing about middle game, beginning, opening choice. In this setup, white is already totally winning. White plays an amazing move, queen h7. Now, black has to take only a legal move, and now white is in big trouble. Black is in big trouble. We give a double check while taking a piece. Double check. In 99% of the cases, you have to move. Let's say black goes here. Then we have this checkmate. Black can go anywhere, so we have to go closer to the center or to white. But that's very dangerous because now white plays this move, and we can go back. We cannot go here because the bishop. We cannot go here, so we have to go forward. And now in this position, it's already very, very strange. You have a king on g5. You have a king on g5 and your rooks are not even connected. So that doesn't. If your king is on g5 in the endgame, okay. But this is not even a middle game. This is like opening game. This is move 13. h4. Only move that's cannot take the pawn because the rook is the pawn is protected by the rook. Cannot go here. Cannot go here. Cannot go here. Cannot go here. So only move is here. We play now the simple move, pawn to g3. Yes, it is happening. We cannot go here. The knight, we can go here. The bishop, we can go here. Pawn, can go here. Knight, can go here. And in this position, white played e2, but he can also play. He can just also castle and. Later play. You can also castle and then just play castle and play knight to h2. It's checkmate, but he played queen bishop to e2. Now black. The only move for black is to go to g2, and now white is going to play rook to h2, and now you have two choices to make a beautiful checkmate. In the game, white played king to d2, but most grandmasters and most chess players really thought it was better to just long castle, because how many times can you castle can you checkmate a king while castling queenside? That's so rare. So this move, it's if you do it with stockfish, it is forced. It is forced. There's no defense for black. It's it is all forced, and in my opinion, this is one of the most beautiful king walks in the history of king walks. I know you have the other immortals, but this immortal is it's so beautiful. It's so perfect. This sacrifice, this sacrifice with the queen. But now we have to, what can we learn from this game? So that's why we are here. Not only to watch for entertainment, but also for learning experience. So I think black made a couple of mistakes here. I think he misjudged king safety. Something I think he didn't saw the dangers in the position, and he was not thinking what is opponent doing. When your opponent plays h5, queen h5, your opponent is not telling, oh, I want to play my queen on h5 because it's very active there. When your opponent plays queen h5, you have to go ting-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling. Something is not right in the position. He wants to checkmate me, or he sees a tactic. Because you don't play queen h5 expecting for a quiet game. And I think he had really here. Just grab his knight. Who cares about the bishop pair? You have a good rook. Your king is now safe. You're gonna fianchetto, and you have your queen out. And he has a. If he wants to protect this pawn, then it's going to be very. It's not going to be very structured. It's not going to be very pleasant for white, because you also have a lot of counterplay. Maybe early in the game, I understand why he didn't play d5, because it weakens your e6 pawn, but just you cannot let your opponent have a knight on e5. You just play something, just kick that knight out, because knight on e5, it's like with the Ruy Lopez, like having a knight on this. What Kasparov said, if a knight is very placed at the board of the enemy, it is worth a knight plus an extra pawn. So knights, when they're placed perfect, they are monsters, and you don't want a monster knight in your camp. So I think black just kind of didn't thought about the danger in the position, the king's safety, and he didn't. He just let white do everything he wanted. Like, white didn't have any problems. Oh, I just put my knight there and you're not going to take it. I just do that. I just do this. White didn't have any counterplay. White just could do anything he wants or she wants, and that's, you will never in a Dutch, while your king is very weak in a Dutch because you don't have an f pawn. You don't want to have these kinds of position. So I want to thank you for listening, and I hope you learned a lot.